Okay, let's see if I can record this. Okay, so here's the star shot I just showed. Alright? So I have the plunger back just to make sure that it locks and unlocks and everything like that, okay? This is the nice thing about the star shot right here, is that if you take out the space for the long shot plunger tube, and put in mind this one's small because this is the LT. The LT only has 2 inches of draw, and the reason for this is so it can fit shorter barrels, like this, and be used as a sidearm. But it also can fire up to 10 inches of barrel length and do almost 300 feet per second. I mean, it's pretty crazy. I didn't design this to be the Speed King, but so far, yeah, I'm finding, well, I have my theories about air, but okay, so a few parts you need to know about. The plunger head assembly is long shot, but it is modified. You got a number 10 Torx, 1/2 inches. You got an Everbuilt spring, looks like about 3/8 in diameter, going into a modified Firestrike head that acts as the spring guide for the center one. Okay, for the center spring. Okay. Then you got your 2 springs here. You got an 18 kilogram Explorer, and you got an 8 kilogram Orange Model Works long shot. These are long shot springs. You have your front piece here. Okay, so let's get it together, man. Oh, and let's put a neoprene washer on the back of this. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Okay, let's try that. No, I really need the spring clearance. Not only that, this is a blaster that actually does well if it's not airtight. But this is faster. I can't explain why. I do not need a metal guide in the back of this because the catch on it is actually strong enough if I go with 7/8 springs and bigger. Spring biasing is very important. I want this spring, the center one, to bow up and not down into the side. Okay, so right there what I just did was I connected this and that, because what I want to do is I want to bring the coils. Here's the nice thing, is you don't have to close the whole thing up with the coils intact. You can actually, here's my my T25 Torx driver. You can actually drive it in. That's about where I want it for now. Right there. And what I want to do now is I want to look at the long shot spring, and I want to make sure that it's even on the side. Why am I listening to Nirvana? Well, you know. Pink Crush, I have to say, it is the best standard plunger tube pistol there is, despite the fact that you can only fit springs that have 3/4 of an inch of solid space. Well, if you ground the ends, a rival spring, a 14K rival spring, rival Apollo spring will fit in there, no problem, you know. So, and then you can put inside of it, you can put an 8K Blackwell spring. That's some serious balls, man. You can get up to the 200 feet per second if you do that, but more likely about 180 average, I would say. Okay, so let's continue on this. Fresh coat of Teflon lube. Yeah, it looks small, but you have to remember that this plunger tube is not housing the spring. It is only housing the draw of the plunger. The rest of the spring is housed back here. So really it's a plunger tube cut in half, and then these big air ducts are here, so A, cosmetically you can see the springs, and B, so that you have more airflow going to the back of your plunger. This is 10 hours of nirvana. I can give you something in the way. I know, it's not that bad of a disaster. Still sad. Let's put a front nib on this. Excuse me. Okay. I know, guys. Huh. Mm-hmm. So now I got the plunger tube in there. Now notice how far it can go. With this, you unscrew this, the screws, this, 3 screws, and you can field strip a bird of prey. Okay, this is a nice feature. That inside Torx screw makes this adjustable. So let's say you go to a match and, you know, 270, 280 average is too much. You can actually do a few things. One, you can loosen that Torx screw. Or 2, you can throw a barrel, a longer barrel than specified. So you can get like a brass barrel, you get like a 14-inch barrel or 15, and it will do like 180 feet per second. Not bad, because all you have to do, you can improvise. So if you got to be below a 250 limit, you can loosen that up so you get to 200 if you're croning at 250. So that's another nice feature. It's also nice when you're practicing, because you can practice at a lighter yield and you can play at a heavier one. It also makes it so fine-tuning it to the maximum speed is awesome, because you can get to the maximum sweet spot of the plunger tube and the spring by trial and error, and you can get the maximum speed out of this blaster, which most other blasters you can't adjust the solid space of the blaster. In this blaster you actually can. I actually made this video for a friend, Drew Benson, who is following me because he's actually buying one of these. Admit a more advanced version I'm giving him. I'm giving him one with a fiberglass shell, and I'm giving him one with all these revisions. And it's going to be a longer plunger tube on it. So now you knock this back, you knock your plunger tube in. Oh, I'm over right there. Hold on. Okay, so I got it all caught there. I'm going to button her down. And you may notice I use stronger screws on this because it is a lot of attention. So when those screws wear out, you just get thicker screws. It works. There's the screw that came with the blaster originally, and there's the screw I use for the top one right now. It works. As long as you don't over tighten it, you're fine. Okay. Alright. So there it is, right there. Now let me get this. Ah. Alright. Huh. Well, a little trick to get this nut in half. This blaster's a year old, and it's been an experimental piece for many spring loads, turrets. Alright, let's start about right there. Now when you are experimenting with your spring load, you want to start with about a 1/4 inch on the back and work your way up, and then get to firing it. Let's throw an FHA through there. Yes, it can fire full-length darts with some effort. Did you have any doubt it was going to do that with a full-length dart? You shouldn't have. And yes, I know my room's a mess. I'm a mad scientist. What can I say? So, as you can see, yeah, it's just such a nice platform. As we're like with the Pink Crush. Here, hold on. Let me get the destroyed. Well, it's not destroyed. I'll fix it one day. But look, let me get the. Okay. The Scare Magnet 2, it was just plagued with a couple of problems. Number one, you had no way of making an anti-dive geometry. Although the trigger shoe and everything else was pretty robust, it just didn't have any means of making sure that this trigger stayed in the right place. As where on the Starshot, I have that mechanism right there. Yes, it's real tight trigger, it's real tight spring, but you know what? It's gonna kill out there. And besides, a blaster like this you want to hold with two hands anyway. The other problem is that the way that this was made, there's no way to really bend, if you take the shell, there's no way to really bend it and just pop your plunger tube out. And also I had a dart stop, which is good, except for, well, why don't I usually have a dart stop? The one that Drew Benson's getting, he's getting one with a dart stop, but it's more of a concentric 1/2 inch piece of brass in there. That keeps the dart from moving. And the reason for that is really simple. The beauty of a bird of prey is that you want to be able to get to that bolt. Because if you can get to that bolt, you can adjust it on the fly. As much as you want, as much power, as little. It's fine-tunable. It's perfect.